Welcome to Too Hot to Sip podcast. Your host Diana is bringing you all the news stories and hot topics you can't resist. Whether it's trending tea or real-life truths, we're diving in with a fresh perspective, ready to sip, spill, and savor every bit. So, grab your cup, settle in, and let's get into what's too hot to ignore.
A mother's worst nightmare, when trust becomes betrayal. Today's episode is not an easy one. But it's one that must be told. Because somewhere out there, there's a mother reliving this nightmare over and over again. Somewhere out there, there's a child who was betrayed in the most horrifying way possible. And somewhere out there, there's a predator who thought they could get away with it. Welcome to Guardians of Innocence. Today we're going to dive into a story that is as disturbing as it is heartbreaking. A woman discovered that her own boyfriend, the man she loved, trusted, and brought into her home, was sending vile, sexually explicit messages to her 10-year-old daughter. Messages asking the child to perform unthinkable acts. Messages that would shatter any mother's soul. The moment everything changed. I want you to put yourself in this mother's shoes for just a moment. Imagine being in love with someone. They've met your family. They've spent time around your child. They've been in your home. And then, you find it. Messages from this person, someone you trusted, asking your baby girl to lick his, well. I can't even bring myself to say the words. You discover messages from this man, a man you loved, trying to lure your 10-year-old child into performing sexual acts. Can you imagine that level of betrayal? The mother did what any warrior mother would do, she exposed him. She made sure the world knew exactly what kind of monster was hiding behind the mask of a loving partner. And that's what we're talking about today. The text messages that destroyed her world. The messages were graphic. They were clear. This man wasn't just being inappropriate, he was actively grooming a child. He asked a 10-year-old girl to give him head by licking her private parts. Imagine being that mother, reading those words from the man you shared your bed with. How do you ever recover from that? How do you ever trust again? And let me make this clear, predators like this don't just appear out of nowhere. They are methodical. They work their way into families. They gain trust. And then, they strike. This man thought he had his victim trapped in silence. But this mother did the bravest thing possible, she exposed him. How to protect your children from predators. I know this is hard to listen to, but if you're a parent, you need to hear it. Because predators do not look like monsters. They look like family friends. They look like boyfriends. They look like trusted community members. And they know exactly how to manipulate children and silence them. Here's what you can do to protect your children. 1. Always have open communication, make sure your children know they can talk to you about anything without fear. 2. Watch for changes in behavior. If your child suddenly becomes withdrawn, afraid of someone, or seems off, pay attention. 3. Check their devices. Yes, it may feel intrusive, but children cannot always protect themselves. You have to do it for them. 4. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong about someone around your child, don't ignore it. Predators thrive in environments of trust. What to do if you discover abuse? If you ever discover that someone has been grooming or abusing your child, don't panic, but act quickly. Here's what to do. 1. Collect the evidence, screenshot the messages. Keep any physical evidence. 2. Immediately call the police, this is not something to handle in-house. Get law enforcement involved immediately. 3. Remove the child from access to the predator, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a romantic partner, cut them off instantly. 4. Seek professional help, your child will need therapy, and so will you. Do not try to handle it alone. A message to survivors. And to the little girl in this story, if you ever hear this, I need you to know it was not your fault. I need you to know that no matter what that man said to you, you did nothing wrong. You were brave. And to that mother, you are a warrior. You saved your child's life by speaking up and exposing him. We can't turn away from these stories because they make us uncomfortable. We have to face them head on. Because that's the only way we protect our children. My final thoughts. I know this was heavy. And I'm sorry if it hurt to listen. But the truth is, silence is what keeps predators like him in power. We cannot be silent. We cannot ignore the red flags. We cannot let love or fear cloud our judgment when it comes to our children. If you or someone you know has been affected by child abuse, please contact the National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-422-4453. You are not alone. Your child is not alone. And together, we will expose every last predator until they have nowhere left to hide.